said, manufactured crisis meant to distract you from anything else, like Russia.
In this week's Wacky Moments of Liberal Expression, let's take a tour of a fake news plant and see how it all works. CNN and Don Lemon particularly are absolutely just full of it this week. First of all, we all remember a few months ago when CNN and all the other liberal networks referred to the crisis at the border as
manufactured crisis at the border, the southern border.
Tonight, the president tries to sell a crisis that the facts tell us does not exist.
Donald Trump may be inventing a national security crisis on the border.
So it's a fake crisis.
There's not a crisis.
Actually, it's pretty much under control.
If you say it enough, will it be so?
Quote, no one is saying this is a crisis except them. They're playing the public for suckers.
He's lied so much about the realities of what he's calling a crisis.
Donald Trump is manufacturing a national security crisis.
A crisis that has been completely manufactured.
As I said, manufactured crisis.
So the border crisis was manufactured when President Trump discussed it, but this week all eyes are on the border, and because their Democratic masters have now changed their talking points, the liberal media must obey. And suddenly all the media is recognizing it as a real crisis.
Well, the fact is, this is a crisis.
Okay, so it's a crisis now, something fake news CNN and Lemon claim that they always thought it was.
No one has ever said it wasn't a humanitarian crisis.
A humanitarian crisis. But, if you call them out on all this, well, it's evil conservatives twisting their words.
That is a talking point for this administration. And they know the difference. And for conservative media. They know the difference.
Really, Don? You're full of it. Remember when Trump called it a humanitarian crisis and you said that wasn't a fact?
As we always say around here, facts do matter. So here are some of those facts that I told Chris I have to get to, okay? I want you to listen to the president, how he started this address tonight.
My fellow Americans, tonight I am speaking to you because there is a growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border. Every day, Customs and Border Patrol agents encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. We are out of space to hold them, and we have no way to promptly return them back home to their country.
Okay, so here's the fact. The fact is, while border apprehensions were up in October and November, that's not unusual. They didn't surge in an unprecedented way.
Oh, so there's no surge, so there's no humanitarian crisis. But now, report some fake news, Don.
There's a distinction there. The way people talk about it now, and then when he wanted to declare, or he declared, a national emergency. Nuance.
Yeah, so you created fake news to target Trump then, and you're creating more fake news to cover your tracks now. That's the nuance.
No one has ever said it wasn't a humanitarian crisis.
That's not unusual. They didn't surge in an unprecedented way. In fact, they're much lower.
You're a joke, Don. Speaking of jokes, did you hear the one about an old socialist, a fake Indian, and a touchy-feely plagiarist taking the stage for presidential debates? Oh, you did this week, huh? Well, did you catch the pre-debate fake news lies over on MSNBC? We're after some strange dressing room allegations by advice columnist E. Jean Carroll.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Yeah, anyhow, without any evidence or trial, MSNBC's high judge and executioner, Nicole Wallace, declares Jean's claims a fact. And she also says President Trump is a rapist.
I had booked E. Jean, and then in the flurry of news, just to be perfectly honest, in the flurry of news and some of her media appearances, it became foggy what she was alleging. She, as the victim, has chosen not to use the word rape as part of her own strength. It's not seeing herself as a victim. But in terms of what Donald Trump did, and in terms of how the U.S. criminal codes look at the act of what he did, it was a rape.
Oh, in terms of what he did, no, allegedly. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a word that journalists use. But hey, facts aren't necessary. It's MSNBC, so the lies just keep on coming.
We are having a Democratic primary that will result in someone who will run against the first ever candidate to be credibly accused of sexual assault as violent as the rape described by E. Jean.
I guess that depends on what the meaning of sexual assault is.
pretty sure
They
the
want to
Democrats
win.
don't want to follow the Republican Party to the cemetery. The Republican Party's dead.
It's all the fake news from liberals I can stomach right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Shiner for MRC-TV. Have a great weekend, everyone.